Multi-sale items in Eve are ways of making sure that you can sell in advance to customers certain stock items that will encourage the customer and ensure the customer keeps returning to your store. Perhaps the prime example of this is an air card, where you sell upfront 10, 20, 50, your choice, number of air fills, and the customer keeps returning to use numbers 2 to 10, 2 to 20, 2 to 59, so that they have another series of opportunities for you to sell to them, market to them as they return to your store to make sure that they use up that air card. So how can we set that up within Eve? Well, we start by going to the inventory module, go to create a new stock item, and this is the standard way of selling a stock item and creating a stock item, but for one little change, as you'll see. So I'm going to create one here called a 50 air fill card, give it a stock number, put that into my stock type I use for such, use the store name as the manufacturer. All of that is per normal. The key aspect here is the box here of multi-sale item. So if I check this box, you will now see that quantity has come live. And it seems only fair, as I've called this a 50 air fill card, to say that there will be 50 of these. Now, I'm going to assign a price, and in this example I'm going to say that this is 200, whether that be pounds, euros, dollars, etc. Obviously will depend upon the currency you use. I'm also just going to remove from the stock levels tab both the maintain stock levels and can be purchased or placed on a purchase order checkboxes. So I now have a stock item, which is a multi-sale stock item, will, as we see, sell 50 of these for a certain price. I click save. Now, to sell one of those, standard way of selling any stock item, go to sales, go to a new invoice. I'm going to bring up a certain customer and I'm going to sell this customer one of those air cards. Now I can do this by scanning a barcode. If you print off a barcode, I could enter the stock number, I could write in the description. As you know, I'm just going to go to have search here and look for the 50 fill air card. And you'll see straight away that up pops a box saying this is a multi-sale item. Now, as you can see here, it could actually be purchased by one customer for another customer, but I'm going to keep this simple at this point and say that these will be used by the same customer, both the purchaser and the recipient. If some of those air fills are being used right now, I can go to the items tab here, and I could say that by placing the cursor in date use and clicking the F8 key on my keyboard, say, for example, the first 2 fills have been used straight away. I hit save on that. In comes the stock item to the shopping basket. I save as per normal, so I go to payments. In this example, I'll use cash, hit save, and the transaction is done. We now have a customer who owns a multi-sale item. 2 of those have already been used on this case. And what you'll see now is that next time the customer is in the store, is you could either go to the customer record, open up the particular customer in question, and under their sales related node here, you would see in multi-sale items and in incomplete that they have a 50 fill air card, of which 2 have been used. So another advantage is you can always say to the customer, there's no need for you to remember that. At Eve, at the store, we will remember and keep a track of how many of these have been used. And of course, we hope there are at least another few dozen occasions when this customer will now come back into the store, which is after all the purpose of these items. Now you could, if you wanted to, go to the card this way, and the next time the customer is in for an air fill is simply enter again by using the F8 key on your keyboard the time and date when another one of those air fills has been used. Another way, and perhaps one that you'll be interested in more often, is if we go to a new sale and again call up that customer. So the customer's in looking for something else perhaps, and straight away we get to see here in these pop-up notes that the customer owns a 50 air fill card. So if other things are being added to the shopping basket here, we can still also, by highlighting here, clicking open, use the air card, perhaps 2 more fills today. It also, of course, gives you the opportunity to make sure you remind the customer that they have that and that they should be coming back in very regularly, that they still have that, if you like, credit with you, to encourage your staff to make sure that your customers know that they'll always be welcome in your store, that there's a purpose for them coming to your store, etc. So that's how to set up multi-sale items and use them with an Eve.